My name is Madia. I flew in from Johannesburg. I found the flight through a social media post, Facebook to be exact.
How did you find the flight from Johannesburg to Marseille?
Very short, but comfortable. Actually better than I expected for a small charter flight.
Was there a reason why you hadn't chosen a competitor?
I think for me it was mostly about convenience and effective communication between the airline over email and messaging.
Every time I look at my mom, I see my world. I see a protector, a provider. I see a friend like no other. Sometimes I sit and wonder, how do we protect such beautiful creatures? Well, sometimes you can't, especially against things like death. The least we can do is to encourage them to take Tari Funeral Plan, because they take care of us when they are here, and Tari will take care of us when they are gone.
It's very sequence this kind of thing. Okay. On a les quoi.
My name is Madia. I flew in from Johannesburg. I found the flight through a social media post, Facebook to be exact.
How did you find the flight from Johannesburg to Marseille?
Very short, but comfortable. Actually better than I expected for a small charter flight.
Was there a reason why you hadn't chosen a competitor?
I think for me it was mostly about convenience and effective communication between the airline over email and messaging.
Yeah. Go. Go. Uma dá para passport. Brasel. Assim era a pegada na eu vou convidar depois
My name is Madia. I flew in from Johannesburg. I found the flight through a social media post, Facebook to be exact.
How did you find the flight from Johannesburg to Marseille?
Very short, but comfortable. Actually better than I expected for a small charter flight.
Was there a reason why you hadn't chosen a competitor?
I think for me it was mostly about convenience and effective communication between the airline over email and messaging.
Rutile ra tla kopana re tle re mene boteng ba hao ke ha fela o tla ba teng ntle le mongwe ke kwa iponahatsa Jehova se ke sa o loka mme re qala pele ka ho etsa jwale le re qetellong ya mosebetsi tle re boele re leboha hobane rutile ba dinthong tsohle ke ka ba kwano tla ba monate ka ho hlokofela tla nne re kgutle re tlo leboha ka tla ga leboha ke tshwara marola le tsela mara mara amen ya leboha la kapello monate umele unate ke la ka tsa ke bolela morero le setho sa ka tsela ka di mme mo ka hore ke re tsa re tlalosa la ikopotsa bua mphutse dula kgomo ha le a fumaniso leng sona se seo ke se sebedisang kapa re itataisang ka sona se ya puso ya ka dihlaloso hore tsatsing la kajeno re tla ipapisa le puo ya kajeno le sepheo le morero fela ho kopa hore le dipotso tse ba di ka ba teng kapa tlhakisetso tse hlokahalang le di amahane di ipapise le puo eo la le bua ka yona kajeno jwale ho ke ke tlhalose sa le tlhaloso letsatsi la kajeno re tlo bua ka tsoho kapa ono ya mphutse la go bua di le yona le teng mmuso theko ke sepheo le morero wa letsatsi la kajeno kapa la mmoka o phutse la jeno ka mantswe a mang tlhalosa hore ha se press conference mo le twa di ya go iba se bang se a bua o tla bua di mo ga ditaba ba di ka bo phatala di ditaba e ba bona ba tla mamela e ga ba tla mo di ba phamisa le matlo ba botsa se tlo mo ga go mo le lona le ba phatala ba ditaba le botse kana go e ba ka botse ka morao mo re tsala pele ha ka habe le go mo ga re feta ntlha ya pele ka be re dumela ho isa ka o fela ka mona gore re a ipuisisa dipotso e tla ga re botsa ga be di papisa le tlhaloso e fapaneng ya le mo e tla fitela ditaba hona jwale dati a ya tlhalose la mona mo tsang purpose and le rana with the program ona le dala ke ya le bona la le tsaka bo me bonda le se ke le bo hore e be
le a pele gore ke ka mongata ya bona le se itlhakisitse gore na ja go bohlokwa gore e be lone ebile ja mafapha a mang re tla be se tseba ona we for what na ke mme ke ona seboko sena se re ka sona ke ditho tsa tse bitswang Prime Minister's Delivery Unit mme e bopue ka tsela ena eo ya fola le tla gola le bula setulo ka go chairman ka go bula setulo ba di boka wa party e misang e bitswang RP e leng yona e eteletseng e entse puso mme pela sa monana le takane ya gola ha e be gona e sa tsebe le tsebiso ke yena motlatsi wa bula setulo ba di boka wa RP ka bohle ke re go bitwa go nna ikenetsa ha di ba le dina e tla thusetsa haholo ke hlakise ditaba tsa bile ka tsona haholo ke ne re kgutlisetse ditaba ma tsa television ya hae ya haholo ka tsamaya e entse le pele na e ka ba tona mme ke a fola ha motho a sa re ka ba thuso ke mana bona le dintho tse ngata tse etsahalang tseo batho ba se ba sheba go fapana le hore ba mo kgutlisetse ditaba tsa tse a go phela ka ke ha ya a di batla sebetsa ka tsela itseng ba le tse tata ya le ka taba tse so ka ka tsela di lo tlhalosa mme operations of the delivery. And some of you are aware over the years as a Lesotho use. So they get a heart. So it was provided an institution that studies implementation. That comes back and says implementation is we were asked whether we could be part of that delivery. The constitutional constitution now it's down. However, I mean, very good. However, very good. You know, conditional idea. However, we are not very good. Then government,
Every time I look at my mom, I see my world. I see a protector, a provider. I see a friend like no other. Sometimes I sit and wonder, how do we protect such beautiful creatures? Well, sometimes you can't, especially against things like death. The least we can do is to encourage them to take Tory funeral plan, because they take care of us when they are here, and Tory will take care of us when they are gone.
Terms of reference. Like it's part of the documents that I shared with you. The delivery unit, the way I understand it, is composed for just one reason. To push delivery. And if delivery is what? Accountability. You know, your delivery unity is not is to push, to make as much noise was also speaking about progress or so. You know, baka khona line ke background timo terms of reference. It's basically a background that says the across board. Doesn't matter what sector, this government inherits this is the background. The rationale why a delivery unit and many other structures of government are being set up. Ke batla go ke re bale area timona ena ke tla highlight ha le dikeng la bona hantle ba ka kgona go bona ke batla go bala because this then forms the crux of why we have met today. Ere governments worldwide, including this government, cannot count upon democratic electoral processes to legitimize their tenure in office. Go to Muson recognize that there is more to do beyond to win to legitimize its stay. And the same applies to other governments across the globe. We know beyond the election period now. There is more to legitimizing a government than the fact that then the paragraph reads, the new social pact or agreement that this government says our legitimacy derives from visible, the results measure over time. That is what shapes how this government intends to do business. It's not a speech. It's not a document that is in Donald Trump, the legitimacy of this government will be derived from the visibility and ability to measure results of what is doing. Not worry, but what the impact will be. If we can't measure, if what is being done is not visible, okay? If it cannot be measured, then there's a problem. There's a problem. Okay, the RFP-led government recognizes that the issue of public management, managing the public service, is central to go to the RFP government recognizes that the issue of public management is a condition for the state to deliver better services. Two things: visible, measurable results through a well-managed public sector. A well-managed public sector. These are the defining characteristics of what shapes the vision behind what this government was set up for. Those are the defining characteristics. So, further down, there will be terms of reference in mind, so that I don't lose. Honali section, the role of the office of the Prime Minister in oversight. Remember, visible, measurable. You're out to official to hold irresponsible for oversight. It's this paragraph 1.3. And oversight there is exercised through processes that GS would not PS. When the GS get out with the PS, Unka Museviti on also, all federal agenda cabinet to allow the Prime Minister to preside over ministers. When that does not happen, if the GS does not engage and oversee PSs, then cabinet does not have. The terms of reference that are set up at the remit, they recognize our the government secretary is very central to the proper functioning of the will of government. And what are referred to as functions of the government secretary. Gladly, the session is an engagement session. So, GS, again, the GS is the center. If the GS does not do his job, which is presiding over PSS, then the Prime Minister cannot do oversee this. I want you to underscore Manzia, Papa, Section 12 of Public Service Act 2005, the establishment of an office called the Government Secretary's Office. The functions of the GS are spelled in that law, like this. How he coordinates the activities of all principal secretaries and transmits that communication from PSS to cabinet. I've spoken to this. The GS is also responsible for conveying policies and discussions of government to anyone of interest to government. But the third function of a GS, what he enters into performance agreements with principal secretaries. He supervises and monitors their performance. So he gets into performance contracts with PSs. And this contract should ideally spell what the government has promised Lesotho it is going to do. If we have performance contracts that don't speak to the promises of the sitting government, then I think promises are set by the fellow who GSO can into the performance contract, all supervise and PS. And if you read this, if we are coordinated the activities that the PS will be cabinet, you can see now he does that on the basis, ideally, on the basis of contracts that PSs enter into with that office, the office of the government secretary. As I intend to tell you about supervisor cabinet, and then the prime minister can say, hang on, minister agree. One another problem. Yeah? Minister so and so, a pat on the phone, around the solar. Minister so and so, Pani. Tell about the underscore, Mona. PM Hana, how we are Matuna. As at the PS. It almost 71 moves over to both to get chief accounting officers, both to get PS. Bala or government secretary. See, no, the GSS overall responsibility over all public officers. In terms of reference, in a work at the centrality of the office of the GS. I think you now understand why the office of the GS is a very important office for government. If this office doesn't function properly, government is likely not to function properly. Because if you study that logic, our agenda cabinet, he's the one who prepares the agenda. And secondly, he's able to tell Mamba household. Never shall paper man and sales on the paper. Banaba stand because of the girl child. It is because that logic has not happened over the years. We have never had, unless you can tell me otherwise. More than that, the PS. I get Papa in over. But the last PS television, we can't do that later. Go visualize it. Have you ever had more than PS television based on a performance contract? I got to not throwing party line, but maybe not aligned to any performance contract. At any given point in time, have a certain performance contract there, PS. And yet, we're the one also to PS, one PS, all 4. Caste is 3 months. Was PS in cabinet, was PS in defense, PS NSS, PS informer. That says this logic here, that is in the law. Okay? It is like that. Because I need that. Unata sign a performance contract pay for you. If you want, it's a session to knock into our hearts and say, having total at gun, is that a thing to come again? Salam demand, responsible of our account. Then we have a problem. You know what you want to know, Kona? How does this government view the participation of media in this whole thing? Do PSs have contracts now? How many of you know in this room? Have you seen a PS's contract? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then what are you reporting on in terms of performance of that sector? Have you seen a minister's contract? Mm-hmm. Then how can we honestly say, but logic is very critical. But this is what the law says. The functions of the GS. I'll go back now to monetary work in terms of reference. Okay. Well, how's the reform of GS based on what you've read? Come along. Can section in define a whole year prime minister oversight? the PM with oversight to come to GS. See? You know, how GS has a city. We all in this room should have consent. The critical question would be whether this government allows you to participate in justice. You see? And by participating, in his inauguration remarks, the Prime Minister said or defined the logic towards which the new government change program should be understood. For this new government, the only change it will do is to increase accountability in the public sector by creating a system in which performance expected of all public officials will be transparently stated and reported upon. Yeah? And there will be social engagement around what performance has been achieved and what services have actually been delivered. I guess you're having that the Prime Minister defined the logic of the new government change program. The government promised change. What is the logic of change? Change as well. Change, how are you going to do that? Or what is going to be different? What distinguishes you from Buffett? So to move on and put away that different from the rest is to increase accountability in the public sector. Okay? By doing what? By creating a system in which performance expected of all public officials, performance expected of all public officials, PSs, ministers, you name them, directors, everyone, I get it? Will be transparently stated. For that state, you are going to what's about PSA, we expect you with a 1, 2, 3, 4, again. And there will be social engagement around what has been achieved or not been achieved. You know, central to this logic is the ability of government to define results, measure them, reflect and communicate performance. Section A, like, because that is what marks the difference of this government. Making performance transparent. You get it? Stating performance ya motho mo le mo ga etse go hohle mo reng go ska ipotsa PSA tebelwa ka ba o wa intšha ka pawisa again you know ha motho era o itso tlalema so many hectares of what one ana go e fitla ditho tse di seng let's chaba we can even push on motho ona tso because we know. So the question is always what happens when we don't know. Me se ke go pole 20 years so kela again. Did you ever know what is expected of anyone? The question is, do you know now? You know now. I'm asking a very simple question. In the last 20 years, could you say, I know that PS is responsible for 1, 2, 3, 4? Could you say that? Kine ke na ha ke ga ga be potso eno pele ke retla o ene ona o fetile nka kine ke na 20 years back in la kala tse then I'll simplify it and say do you know now? If you don't know now, that is wrong for this government. You must know. You know, this media engagement, part of its objective is to push you to know. Is to push you to ask the right questions. Because if you don't know, they say knowledge is power. What power do you have as media in this country? Like our para watchdog globally famous at the PSA, what role can you play? Seriously.
So you pose those questions to who?
Khetla. I'm happy you are there. Fela Khetla. But we are saying delivery unit. See? You may not get this from a minister or PS, but the delivery unit can say that. Because it has mandate to say, if this is the vision, is it happening or not happening? You see? And but what I'm doing, then we'll respond. So I'm saying, there is an opportunity now to make this government accountable. And to make it government accountable, you must know what are meant to do. Okay? If it appoint you and get pija, in the terms of reference in the delivery. Okay. The Prime Minister's office recognizes that if meaningful change is to be achieved in the public sector, the center of government, which is the Prime Minister's office, in particular, the Government Secretary's office, should exercise more decisive and effective control and accountability over government processes and the delivery problem. Straight logic. What is the function of a GS? To get into performance contract with PS, to supervise, okay? And to take whatever is coming out of that to the Prime Minister, so that the Prime Minister can also do the same on ministers. You know, Muso Maori, Ushoka a strong center. Ushoka a strong office of the government secretary. A GS that will get into performance contract, that will say, I don't have business if I don't have performance contract with these people. You know, I have a deal on the delivery unit is saying to you, that is contrary to the vision of this government. And that is what you must do. Go and find them. Are there contracts? Okay? Does the GS have contracts with PSS? If they are not there, it says the center cannot go up, cannot drive government. Because Mutero Vele Linga and Kaga, official Linga, Hera the Tuesday language. Allow level to not more helpful. Or have you heard the story of TB in this country? The story of maternal deaths in this country. Who never shall have a paper movies. Masiama under 5 years. Ashwa, or maybe the first trimester one. Just stories are the decades. Maternal mortality is high. TB number 1. HIV number. Have you had a GS being fired for that? If you haven't had a GS being fired for that, what are you who cannot performance contract in about 1%? Hello, give them back. You have a big role now to do what? To police, to play a watchdog role on some of these issues that shape the logic of how this government can bring about change. Well, how about that way? Can I wait till Lesotho? Can I have to one one vela was at the Tazi? Then why let our vela do vela mela? You know what this government is saying? It is important to have a very strong government. The Gibuari driver that changed. Another point that is in terms of reference, go to effective citizen engagement. We are in this meeting to engage so that we have knowledge, you have power to engage with your government, to deliver services that you receive. Because if you can engage, you are watchdog, you are sidetracked. Interest becomes issues that happen in parliament, in what? Not fighting TV that's killing everything. Not fighting maternal mortality that's killing you, your sister, your brother, your mother, everything. Not having food to eat because somebody in this country is not doing something. So I'm saying, Bimbaga, this is part of an agenda to engage more people to understand what government is trying to do. And the delivery unit says, if today you still don't know, go and find out on the basis of what we are seeing. So the terms of reference, that's the purpose. To support the Prime Minister's office to exercise strong oversight and accountability over the public and local government service. You have the public service, you know how passionate people is about the sphere of India local government. The road to deliver unity that to sa office am compete na follow ka GS ka le tlola public service go bona fela gona lo oversight le nkutlang taba tlo dira how to deliver unity to etsa mosebetsi wa PS ha e tlo etsa mosebetsi wa matona e le hore deliver unity ya tlo pheta mosebetsi wa batho ba santse ba hiwo ba o etsa mebuso ya bitile with that delivery units that do jobs for batho ba teng ba se ba le teng ba ntse ba yena ka le ka nkana re wage bill a ye motho sa ntse a hiwo nda so ntse hiwo PS ake yo lo tu hira la dido ri tu go deliver yona e deliver itse o bona ntho ke tlo ka ti deliver ri nite ya ka me phete ntho wena o so ntse o dire e tla bile re fela e media tsa mo motsanda te manna e lo go bia ona bembaka e line ye lo fela o thusa prime minister ga oversee. And the reason also the Prime Minister also it goes back to that issue of oversight is the responsibility of the Prime Minister in this country, not an individual minister, because all ministers are under the Prime Minister. You know, one thing is to question the Prime Minister about oversight, because as a member of the delivery unit, I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to encourage you to question processes of oversight and accountability. Because that is the vision of this government. Tell media to come and ask us. So I guess there is a specific figures in terms of reference, but the cracks that's a little bit unity here on it. You're like agenda telling unless that they just to 10 minutes just to reflect on this, or 5 minutes. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, just to reflect on this and nothing else. On what I've said and nothing else.
Now, lona le unity e mo le teng ka molao wa motheo wa naha kapa ke ntho e dumelwaneng ke party ya RFP na le teng ka molao hore ha PS ba kapa yena GS a sitwa o fumana dikarabo ho yane PS na lona ho na le ntho le ka etsa kata taiswa go bona
Ada tisile teng ka molao tsa ke tsena kwa motheo ka kwa fela re tse delivery itse support prime minister e lo prime minister ga iketsa advice so role nyena ka oversight ke le prime minister yo ka hale pula ka dipatla consultant yo tla tlo ke consultant ba ka yo ke a gora ka ba ona tsona di molao mo teng wa motheo consultant technical advisors etc. You know, more discretion for me to execute my job. I can put together a team of people that can help me do that. And consultant to help sectors to deliver on 1, 2, or 3, and 4. Or I want to use that like a public service sector in the constitution. when you have a task, you can say to yourself, "Ke bona ke sena capacity ya ba ke na. I want to build my capacity ka ke tse one." So to answer you, that's the rest I did. It's the thing otherwise we wouldn't be sitting in this office. I don't know now. What act, what constitution, or what. But we are here. We are a legitimate unit that is recognized by the person responsible for oversight. PS o le consultant ha ena pegelo ya hore e ka be se khoma mo mo e mo teng o tse e thuse PS itseng ka bona le itseng e be se le ena se tatamara e le ka pele kilo etsa ilo correcta ilo go tsang itseng e tla advise motho ya ne o ena se le sande e lo go nda le go be go re ora mo go tswa ona go tsitsa bona go re nda your system is living on the job
taba ye ya rona e tlo fapana ka e le letsatsi ya go la fitla batho ba ba ipitsang ka lebitso le le ntle le ho bitswa PS eo re tselang le ena a tseng tokelo le matla ohle a ho laola ditjhelete le kaleng lefe kapa lefe la mmuso jwale lona le re le sebetsa le magolo fela mo ho senang performance e ntle PS ka molaodi e mo le leng DS le go botsa go ke mare man thabise hona le motho e mong a la fitla ditso ya ke thabo gasi a fitla a nka matla a batho bo PS ke thatankang ye re keneng ka ho yona hona jwang so ke re lona ha e ba ha lena matla go batho ba na ye no di GS le ye no di PS ba lona le coordinate ka le reporta ho yana ya bitswang tona go na go ba ba re tatang ba ba bedi ba ba sa itse mosebetsi le re gona ka mona go ba go lona mo se bitswang le tla le
bona re tla o thusa go be le disource tsa go go bona je go pisitse kang that has never happened. The GS, the PS has never done that. The PS has not taken into confidence. If you are going to question this government, what do you need to do? I get more to be got program. You want to separate them. Man, I have a one other move to the Muslim PS. I get that. One also becomes the PS. I do have a Muslim to follow oversight. I get it. Why two saying kids over one with what I get it. Wabo, get it? Two say nugget the wa. They don't want all one on machine that Luna go or function. You know, one other that I have about our partner and the media that who's a media or partner. It's like you know, but I will put in the studies. You go by the guy that like single and that. You go there you out that
that is the bunda. You call it how it is. When I live in Luna, it's not make a whole put in see like a basis and this finger, the law or the act, it hang over Luna body, it hang cumulative. It's a gift the kind of and how that up to finger, the act, it tell a thing. Yahola, Haiba, Pufle for Ibali consultants. For the Hagi, Obani, but the way we using it in the the structures, saying a similarities, saying a second, saying a school. And how had the leaders, the political parties in the companies in Musu, you go call like the structure. The government will decide this way. There will be other group. Inside on a tefa banning gale le bona le ba thehile puso bona structure ka se e se ba botsa bo nna ha se tlo lidela mo jwale mo re tla utlwa mo mo balekane ka ga puso ene ba se ba lla gore ai go tse re nagana re matona khetsa decision mo di go na le matona le sehlopha se seng sa matona ma se tlang ka decision za sona jwale ha re sa utlwana structure ka se ha re na go bona se ge leaders mo. My last question le kgola bokae le kgola mokotleng wa mmuso bokae gona na le kgola mokotleng wa mmuso.
Okay. That ke re ke ntse ke khutlela tabenyane ya gore o e potso ena mola ya ona what law. I think I responded to that question and said the Prime Minister has the prerogative to put together a team of people that can help him to do his job. And that should not be provided by the Constitution or any act. He can do that. Unless you can say that cannot happen. One more how you consultant development. But you can't tell me. To give you confidence over delivery unity, we are not going to interact with PSs. We are not going to interact with ministers. I want to underscore the Prime Minister. The PS advice, I got to advice. I'm going to get that consultant because the Prime Minister says, the problem has always been a weak center. Go to a GS will enter into performance contracts. He will supervise this people. He will take whatever comes out of that into cabinet. Okay? Then I'm in control of this country. So I get to know why should it be by law? Or why should it be by an act of parliament or what? For a duty bearer to say I don't know whether there's any law that says it must be done by law or whatever. Then I'll tell you, so assurance ke le fanya ba tlo deliver go deliver reality ha e tlo etsa mosebetsi wa PS because Prime Minister ga o batho bana ba santsa ba le teng. It would be remiss of me ba hirela batho ba bangwe ba etsetsa mosebetsi ha ke ba santsa ba le teng we be sentse ludi ho nna go etsang go ke kala o ba ka public service kala o etsa. I need a team of people that can speak honestly and genuinely and say things are not happening. Which is what we are not. You've never had a PS that goes to the Prime Minister and say, you've never had a minister that goes to the Prime Minister and say that and they do so again and deliver all the time. And this is because the center is weak, or the center has always been weak. So you get come and say the bag. How on Twitter unless Okati provision is the UTL to now follow then maybe then there will be a contention to respond to. There will be a time
ke lebo ke tsetla ke tswa tsenelo FM go gola putso ka go rena taba e tsala mo is it the launch of delivery unit kapa go etsalang go feng lo rena go baneng e le lona ba itlhaisang ka pela rona not Prime Minister himself taba engwe go gona complexity ya delivery unit is it comprised of batho ba RFP le pitso fela hantle le structure ga se eme jwang le ba kae ka ga taba ke a lebo
ke kgala ke kopa go utlwa fela gore na le mohlomong ke qadile tshebetso neng di tlo tla le ba teng nako e kae mohlomong ga ba ke kontra ka le motse hlano ka go tse ka ke le hlakise le yona.
O ke gola nna potso ya ka e thadiseletsa mona mo a sa buting go bona o lebitso la ka ke lefanyang pisa sebetsa sa mme sa Lesotho go bona delivery unit e na e theilwe ka megala makgotla le matsola a theileng phati kapo ke ya motho mo ituna golo a le mong a dikgeditseng gona lona le hebuwe le criteria e se lebitsong ga lehiwa e ne le ya pele o ye ngwe gore le ile la re le the heart o le pelo e ka le pelo ya prime minister go le ba eletsi ba bagolo ba gago yes so go tswa ka gore na mo e sa le sebetsa le kopana ga ka e le tona go kapo yes gore na e sa le sebetsa before re sheba performance ya ne lona le re la e sheba lona performance ya lona e se le today
If you don't know why it kites, don't you find this session useful?
Yes, but
hey, go ahead. You don't totally and I agree with your intelligence. Do you find this session useful? Or would it have been more useful if it was introduced by so and so? What if it is not done? Go ahead. Is this thing useful? Do we feel we have to be introduced? No, we didn't necessarily feel that we have to be introduced. You know what I mean? Because there's no law that says we can't introduce ourselves. You know, you find the value from what you're saying. That's called. You see, because if you dwell on processes, you see, then you are saying no. Is there value in you asking government? Okay. Again, some of these processes, maybe we are starting a journey of engagement. Again, and what is critical, the purpose of our meeting. You see, even if I'm told by that table what my role is, you see, the question of that is what is important. You see, unless you can say Harry Kaistemona will get into trouble, and that's for us to worry about. You will worry about whether introducing ourselves is a problem. Not unless you are saying there is a law that says
I go about to chip in a little bit.
I'm moving to the next item now. Revisiting Matekane, and I'll say what that vision is. Balan little command in generation again. La bona gire emotin diva rolos. Les again. The functioning of the delivery unit A functioning delivery unit is based on a theory and approach ya deliver. Theory and students of deliver. Institute of Implementation. Hello, for 2007, we have always been asking ourselves, why is there no delivery? And we came across a theory that explains 6 conditions for delivery. One is that there is a set direction, clear, without ambiguity. Again, a performance contract. A performance contract provides what? Context again and direction. Again, most non-direction. Delivery because you don't know direction in the context. So I'll run you through this. Number 2, establish clear accountability lines or matrices. Okay? Once you know where you are going, then you have to say, how are we going to report and reflect on this thing that we set out to do? Again, so in government, once stage number 1 and number 2 is done, then you provide a budget and resources for those things that you have agreed to do to happen. Number 4, Muso wa track. We've spoken a lot about monitoring and evaluation in government. For department, department monitoring and evaluation under the planning unit. Okay? It's because those units are set to do what? To track that direction based on an agreed what? Accountability framework. Okay? Then, how to track our monitor from point A to point B. Okay? Now, from point A to point B. Evaluation is attaching value to the let's short title, save your resources, etc. For the longest of time, I want to move away than the civil component evaluation is into consideration. How 1 billion, how 20 million. More and more you track performance effectively. For delivery to happen, you hold robust performance dialogues. There was a dialogue in the first 100 days of government. That dialogue was initiated by the delivery unit. It did not happen as we planned it, but it was an attempt to move government closer to vision, transparency, openness. Time and again, you need to hold what? Robust dialogues, that performance, which is why we are meeting with media today to do what? To encourage to be part of this dialogues, that performance. You see, unless you can come and say, dialogue with that performance. The last, also very important element that we most of money performance, there are consequences. Okay? Good or bad. They get a pat on the shoulder. We institute a corrective action. One year back. I give a TV. All the time. Tell about Baraka 60. If we musility of wind the resource by the musility, you know the story of decentralization in this country. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Then you ask yourself, but the law says they gets into contact. Can I get a presenter because now I'm getting to the vision. And give out now. Answer a coca vision and a mass. The point is that the 6 sooner. The two vision. So I'll tell now to what? To the Prime Minister's inauguration. No political point is in the I get all also. You'll have time to read through it, but I'll just touch one or two issues that I find important for this session to underline. In his speech, in his inauguration speech, the Prime Minister says Lesotho's national budget is absorbed by government consumption. Again, wages are estimated at 32%. Again, of the total procurement. Where is the value? Fourthly, Muso has become the biggest employer. Each one of us wants to align, because everybody believes that a job will come through my alignment. And they've been declining over time. Okay? Revenue the wage bill is too high. But I think what value do we get from the wage bill? TV number one, maternal mortality, what's the value of that level of investment? What are we getting from it? But it's really. This is part of the speech where the Prime Minister is just giving context to what is sadly, even the high spending in the public sector has not translated into satisfactory performance across all sectors. But what and it's not a problem. We all want to be employed. But can people who are employed deliver something to justify what? The investment. Again, the manner in which we spend the resource also leaves a lot to be desired. The Prime Minister addressing the nation. Our capital budget is a tiny 27% of the total budget. A tiny 27%. I get it? While 73% goes towards recurrent. Okay. Where government is charged. Because a lot goes towards recurrent and it's not tied to what performance and delivery. So pick a few lines they want to be for discussion or other things. Well, I'll come to your new government has to fix some of the imbalances mentioned above. It has to fix the public service. It has to fix the public service to make it more efficient, transparent, and accountable, which in turn will make it what? Effective. Only there's how got to see this guy has a radio then go out on a PSL about driver Chakana by side. So the Prime Minister is saying, open up this thing to everybody. Let there be noise all over so that these people can move. You see? You know, however, if it is the only station that's pushing that pressure, you know, I'm trying to say, Musore, who criticize Langudo.
Every time I look at my mom, I see my world. I see a protector, a provider. I see a friend like no other. Sometimes I sit and wonder, how do we protect such beautiful creatures? Well, sometimes you can't, especially against things like death. The least we can do is to encourage them to take Tari funeral plan, because they take care of us when they are here, and Tari will take care of us when they are gone.
My name is Madia. I flew in from Johannesburg. I found the flight through a social media post, Facebook to be exact.
How did you find the flight from Johannesburg to Marseille?
Very short, but comfortable. Actually, better than I expected for a small charter flight.
Was there a reason why you hadn't chosen a competitor?
I think for me it was mostly about convenience and effective communication between the airline over email and messaging.
Open. So, how does the system in our account? Performance reporting. It becomes I want DAs to come. I want cancers to come. I want PSS, Teamsters, and a good clear develop a system through which citizens can monitor and performance. Through your work, you can help us to demand performance. You can. But these towns, you can give up. I've provided resources in the budget.
My name is Madia. I flew in from Johannesburg. I found the flight through a social media post, Facebook to be exact.
How did you find the flight from Johannesburg to Marseille?
Very short, but comfortable. Actually, better than I expected for a small charter flight.
Was there a reason why you hadn't chosen a competitor?
I think for me it was mostly about convenience and effective communication between the airline over email and messaging.
Every time I look at my mom, I see my
Yo lo sebeletsa ka tlung ka ma go betse le bana ba okay o tla etsa bang ha batho ba fitla ha ba musi these are issues tse hantse re ya re ka qokang ka tsona ho thwe rationalize dikoloi tsena tsena go ga le tla mona fela I don't know how many government vehicles tse di bodeng tse wele mabidi tsentseng fela di institution tsa puso fa tse man on the ground ha di na dikoloi tse hadi ona jera mapolesa ona jwang as kae so mo ngara jwale ke ha le tla mona bona dikoloi tsa mmuso tse pantshileng tse tshwatileng difestere tse emeng fela tse di ho tsebana na di kae tse di etsa di ngata ha ke re koloi tseo ha ke tswe ka tse di etswang fela di fuwe institution tse re fa ditshebeletso. See all these issues. So he's trying to build a system. The Prime Minister is aware that he's judged at that level. Trust me. The Prime Minister is aware that he's not judged in this book. He's judged in Kenya. More than then I have a really important healings. The way we move is still for one thing and lose one out. You know, to now follow it. Have a building the resources at that level. Again. And the argues the central government is over resourced. Zogo fitele ka le mo go to the koloi tsa with the PS. Go has the Israel mo tse pedi ya tsela. Get rent salary inherit ka le mo tsela. Will that change? That's for you to determine. That's for you to question. You'll not watch now. I'm putting that to you. Go and check those things. So it's a number of issues that are in the speech. You see, that you will read, understand, to help you to have context to do what? To question government. What informed now the context yes speeches. When the Prime Minister decided his challenge for Puso, then he said, what am I going to do different? So just read it. It is called the Revolution 10. It's called Revolution 10 and 10. When that you speak to the manifesto of the RFP and the 10 chapters. For manifesto RFP, chapter 10. Again, in all the get better. There are the agree education, man, the usual.
About 10 was a chapter dedicated to implementation and only implementation. Because the question was asked here, why do you say this will be different than that? So a question of accountability had to be addressed of implementation. So but it will speak a lot to what I've said, but I'll show you very critical issues. For government to work, this is yeah, don't think that they will speak more because this was during their planning sessions. And the government. Or one to reform the office of the Prime Minister by doing what? Strengthen the GS. You see? Because they argue the fall of a lot of government, they had weak government secretaries' office. Offices that were not able to do what? To oversee GS, to create an agenda for cabinet. You know about it? When they start, the first thing they will do is to make the GS's office more strengthened. Okay? To do what? To perform its function as spelled out in the law. When asked whether the GS's office is strong now, and what will determine its strength? The Prime Minister is inviting. Strengthen body DA, District Administrative Council, to play a more active role. I will tell you now a history, that history that has to be rewritten. How DA about the budget? How am Councillor about the budget? Still the situation is for you to go and investigate. You know, to now follow about one, Kahaba mold level in you, Muso Alamona or Petas. I have been to Elim with Muso. Coast cannot win it. Any Karawasanza so you can see triangulation and document they speak to each other. But it's all like here. How to strengthen parliament? Okay? The oversight rule of parliament. Ask more questions. Prime Minister says, if they ask more, I will know what is wrong. Then I'll address it. You know, as a muso, my parliament and I go history is that they collapse government. And Muso who rely to be overseen by parliament. You know, this vision was there. Eh? Because it would be unfair to one before testing. Testing. You have to look at the Camona Lily. I don't believe, but I tell it to now. I didn't tell her. I tell it to now. But the man in the division, I had that told you why is it? This one, the government spokesperson. Are you creating an enabling environment for the media to participate and to tell the story of government? By him, highly a pat on the shoulder. So you know how now there's no bad news for this government. All news is news. That is the vision. Kickstart public sector reform management. Kickstart
owed to the World Bank for projects that we should find value. The Prime Minister visionary area. We have to manage this debt. We have to get public financial management right. I get it? We should have a budget. I don't want to do the current thing, capital in here. Because there's no system to make it accountable. I can't do it. I get no, not Ramato. Really, a high altitude center. Hapogola, eh? That was financed out of the government budget. How can such a big thing just be built away above? And there's no consequences whatsoever for anyone. That's man. Matter. There are so many things. 10 years because there are no processes to manage the budget wisely. I'm talking budget controller. Take that down. Functioning officer and budget controller only when you monitor and evaluate the budget. Is this budget giving this country value? How can we build how can we? And then I get it. What is the approach? Civil society, and this was developed before this government came into. Here are all the documents that you need to go and push your government to deliver so that you receive good service. This is the vision in not so many words. The vision is to make government accountable for making transparent everything that government has to do and making sure I'm told this poor services delivered in the source. Why? Because the center is not in control. You get diagnosis here on that will more to this. Get diagnosis here by yet appeal again. But about the center. Most of it's on Katati. How buy to any police station that is going they can go to all. I'll bet you. Intelligence. I didn't tell you that. Quari. How na mutagasi. How na go. Fela ko na mo wale muso se betantinga. It's because the resources have been allocated what? That's inconsistent to the job of government. But what do my village help for Gala? Banzembano sabong kuna una chama. But everybody else is paid. Not that person who does the job. The IRO. My police are not doing. Fela go on address and crime. Nese clinic in Gaga and a key history. Edi pictuang gas transosena there. Before they came into government, they did an analysis of what is wrong with government. And on the basis of that analysis, the change program, let everything be transparent, let there be social accountability to everything that was based on this. The scope and scale of poor performance is not known or communicated. TV, because we don't communicate. We don't ask for a reason. Again, maybe the same will happen for other media institutions. Maybe Radio Lesotho, you'll start telling the story of government the way it is. Not the story of government, not the story of government because the minister has gone where so long report a piece. No. It's gonna follow by that hand. But it's in so what's that? On a good vision. Hey, the good vision. For infrastructure, we move must tell the story of government. Because it is only then that government will be in a position to do what? To react accordingly. That's it. So, I you want on consequences on us. Again, call out about it, going against anger, but it's the same thing. You might have that day, everybody. We don't want to service delivery models are outdated and inappropriate. As a result, ineffective. Again, how do you deliver games with you and I know fast? He's trying to address this outdated service delivery model. I don't think that graph where employment compared to the Nazi. Wage bilia on ID. Abo? Awara di Nazi ka offer. Abo? Ko wana ko na every time adi revenue ta sa kune di nyolo. So you have these two graphs. Na base. Asa kune revenue si di nyolo. A similar graph of employment here. Go over the outside. But now the prime minister is saying, no, how can I justify this? But one again, but let there be something for. But one about us. Don't you again? That's the vision, not so much.
Hola, donde hola ne bisbere ko bua ka ono kanda to matika ono ya tona go ile a kena tsebetso le ha kena tsebetso ngare ka stadium ka mana a bua setjhaba sa Basotho le matha mme ke a gola taba kgolo le lo ke re mane tokomane tsena ke re ithuteng tsona ke re di qoqeng ke engagement ke engagement ke kapo ke ho qoqa ka tsona e le hore re tseba hore re botse ba no lokela ho ba botsa hore na ha o no itswe tjena ba go etsaetseng e le hore
Every time I look at my mom, I see my world. I see a protector, a provider. I see a friend like no other. Sometimes I sit and wonder, how do we protect such beautiful creatures? Well, sometimes you can't, especially against things like death. The least we can do is to encourage them to take Tari funeral plan, because they take care of us when they are here, and Tari will take care of us when they are gone.